to the 211th episode of Maryland's Missing and the Murdered.
Maryland's Missing and the Murdered is a weekly YouTube channel that covers the topic of missing and or murdered individuals from the state of Maryland. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified when the next cases are released. In March 2018, Jeffrey Coudon, a veteran and wheelchair user, was staying at a Super 8 motel when two people approached him. They began smoking outside the front of the motel and then helped Mr. Coudon with an upgrade into a more wheelchair-accessible room. Later that day, one of those gentlemen knocked on Mr. Coudon's hotel room door and proceeded to choke him, knocking him out of his wheelchair. The person then kicked Mr. Coudon for a couple of minutes before asking for money. When Mr. Coudon showed him where the money was, the beating stopped. Before the man left, he threatened to come after him if he called police. Mr. Coudon called them anyway and reported that he, quote, was robbed of about $300 in cash and a smartphone, end quote. Police responded to the hotel and found Mr. Coudon bloodied. Police located the suspect based on information Mr. Coudon provided and brought him down to the motel lobby, where Mr. Coudon identified him as the individual who robbed him and assaulted him. The officer arrested Joseph Parrish for robbery and assault. Parrish's shoes had Mr. Coudon's blood on them. A week after the robbery, Mr. Coudon told his daughter that he was scared because someone was threatening his life. His daughter gave him a taser for protection. On November 10, 2018, Mr. Coudon ordered a pizza delivery to his apartment in Havre, Grace, Maryland. The following morning, Mr. Coudon's friend went to his apartment because the two had scheduled to get a service dog for Mr. Coudon. They had spoken the night before around 6 p.m. to confirm plans to pick up the dog in the morning. When the friend arrived at Mr. Coudon's apartment, he found Mr. Coudon bloody and slumped over a nightstand. When police arrived at the apartment, they found Mr. Coudon with gunshot wounds. He was transferred to shock trauma, where he died 3 days later. The crime scene detectives found shell casings and a cigarette butt on the floor. Joseph Parrish was in jail on December 14, 2018 for robbery that month. Police were led to Robert Zeman when a witness heard him talk about a gun being used to kill someone. Robert Zeman was told by Joseph Parrish in a recorded prison phone call to pick up a backpack for him. In the backpack was the gun. This gun tested positive as being the gun used in killing Mr. Coudon. Also, the DNA on the cigarette butt found in Mr. Coudon's apartment was positively identified as being from Joseph Parrish. In April 2019, Joseph Parrish was arrested for first-degree murder, gun charges, and witness retaliation, as police suspected Mr. Coudon was murdered, so he couldn't testify against Parrish on the robbery and assault charges from March 2018. Robert Zeman was arrested and charged as being an accessory to the murder. During the trial, Joseph Parrish testified and accused prosecutors of lying. On October 17, 2019, a jury convicted him of first-degree murder, gun charges, and witness retaliation. Robert Zeman was found guilty of accessory to second-degree murder and gun charges on February 14, 2020. During sentencing, Joseph Parrish apologized for the family's loss, but did not apologize for the murder, as he was still proclaiming his innocence. On June 1, 2021, he was sentenced to life plus 40 years. Robert Zeman was sentenced to 20 years on November 19, 2020. Thank you for joining me this week. If there's a Maryland's Missing or Murdered case you'd like to see on this channel, Email me at marylandsmissing@gmail.com. Twitter is Maryland's M&M. Music is by Silent Vengeance. Sources will be listed in the outro. I'll see you again next week. Be kind to one another. You never know what will happen tomorrow.